I would like to directly start our third panel discussion, which is going to be on credit intelligence, the AI advantage in lending and recovery. So, to start this panel discussion, first I would like to invite on stage our moderator, CEO, Mantra Capital, Mr. Jatinder Mohan Singh Shah. So please put your hands together for him. And for the panelists, I would like to invite one by one Mr. Vivek Joshi, COO, Agrivise Finserv Limited. Can we please put your hands together for him, all of you? Okay, I think he's not here. Maybe he just went out. We'll call upon the next panelist, Mr. Sabya Sachi Rath, co-founder and CEO, Purple Finance Limited. And he's also wearing purple today. Okay, Mr. Dheeraj Mittal, COO, Hiranandani Financial Services Limited. Okay, I think he's not here. Moving on to the next one, we have Mr. Neeraj Kaushik, Deputy CEO, iFinance Private Limited. Mr. Deepak Goswami, CFO, Neo Growth. Mr. Chirag Jain, Head of Strategy, Kisht. And last but not the least, Mr. Raman Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Finance Industry Development Council. All right, I think he's not here. Well, I would like to request Jatinder sir to please take over.
Thank you, and a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's an interesting topic, and we already had two casualties, of the two members not joining us because of the Bombay traffic or whatever. But I think AI, in today's time, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or big data, on a lighter note, ये वो pudding है जो everybody wants to eat, but nobody knows how it is made. But you still want to eat it because everybody else is eating it, right? Right, Aman? That's the way? Okay. So, we'll try to keep it short, but we'll try to keep it crisp. So that because, luckily we have stalwarts from the industry, and they have been able to spend years of their experience, and now with the changing environment of how do you get artificial intelligence, how do you get big data, how do you get machine learning into lending philosophy, whether it is collection or it is bias, I think we'll speak about that. So, I'll just jump on to the first question, and I'll take it to my neighbor, which is Sabyasachi. Bias in the AI models and the risk of reinforcing exclusions. So, we have heard a lot about how do you train the AI models, but the biasness in the AI model is something that we need to be very, very clear on. Because ultimately, the output of an AI model is a function of what you give as an input. So, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. Thanks, Jatinder. In fact, the second panel I'm attending where Jatinder is the moderator. we also know each other. Yeah, so you're right. The topic is very tricky, very interesting. I think a lot of us talk about AI, but many of us also don't know how it operates. It is still a black box. Yeah. So a bias in the AI model actually can come in from the data what you are feeding into the AI model. So it is called a training data. So when you give a training data into an AI model, if there are some societal biases there, that there is bias in terms of caste, religion, or geographic location, or in terms of a demographic, then you find that there is a bias which comes into a AI model. So let me just give you a small example. Let's say a bank has trained an AI model and they want to fund, or NBFC has trained an AI model and they want to fund basis that model. And they are seeing that it is happening that from one particular location or one geographic location, the applications are getting rejected much higher. Because what has happened that the model is trained on the data, on the LLM data of those geography, and without looking into anything else, it is just going and rejecting application the moment it sees that there is a geographical concentration, or it sees that in that particular geography you are getting more application. So what the model does is that even if the customer has capability to repay, he has intention to repay, still the model will discard that application. So let me go to another example. The other example is that the AI model is biased on urban data. So it is operating on data which is more of urban in nature, but we are using it in a rural area where the customer information is much more scanty. They don't provide documented income. They are non-documented income customers, so they don't have a ITR and GST. So the AI model will have a bias and it will tend to discard those applications and it will not fund those type of customers. So these are some of the examples. There are many such examples. So it's very critical that when you look at a AI model which has such kind of biases, the company or the bank need to mitigate those risks. So there are various ways it can actually mitigate those risks. So one of the way of mitigating the risk is that the model, the data which is used for the model, the training data is more homogeneous in nature. So it is more rural driven. It is depending on the maybe the MFI data which is there in the rural area or the UPI transaction data which is emanating from the rural area. So data has to be much more homogeneous in nature and it used to be much more inclusive in nature. There is something called a fairness audit which also happens in AI where you do a fairness audit on the information on the data what you train to know that it is homogeneous in nature and it is inclusive in nature. So the banks or the FI need to do that. The third thing, they need to also ensure that there is no legal, because if you exclude certain groups or you exclude certain geographical area or exclude certain religion, caste, then you also can get into regulatory issues. You can get into legal tussles. So it has to be very transparent. The banks or the FI have to say that the data is transparent or the model is transparent. It should be able to explain, they should be able to explain it to a regulator that yes, this model is explainable and it is transparent in nature and it is inclusive in nature. So these are some of the things they need to look at it so that the bias in AI model is actually taken care of.
I think that's awesome, sir. But I think another question which emanates from this one, and as you mentioned, the transparency, explainability, or regulator. Regulator from a perspective that it's a regulated environment and we all come from the NBFC or the banking space, and regulator will always have a view. Now, typically, artificial intelligence is also considered like a black box. Okay, you have feeded some data and you have all transparency all across, but आपने data feed कर दिया, अब उसमें से business के लोग बोलते हैं मुझे तो पता नहीं चलता ये कैसा कुछ answer दे देता है, this is not practical, this is not transparent. So I would like to jump to Deepak. In order to understand the transparency part, the regulation part, or the explainability part on the artificial intelligence piece.
Thank you, Jatinder. See, we operate in a highly regulated environment, and the compliance in spirit and letter both is very important, whether it's AI or non-AI work we do, right? I don't know how many of you would have read through. RBI came up with a report. It's called Free AI. It's an abbreviation for framework for responsible and ethical AI enablement, and there it's around 100-page report, but it covers most of the aspect of what we should train AI on, what should be the expectation, what regulations we need to comply with. So I'll just pick a few of key item from there. So there are 7 sutras they mentioned, and it's like guiding principle whenever you are using AI or building AI models. So the first one, it says trust, and it says the trust is non-negotiable, non-compromisable. That's the foundation. So anything coming out of AI model, it has to be trusted by all the stakeholder customers specifically, right? So, and how do you build that trust in the system? So the AI model has to be explainable and transparent, and there has to be good governance framework which ensures that, right? So second guiding principle, it says when you implement AI, people first should be the approach. AI is enhancing the human capability, but on top of that, for all the critical decisions, there has to be human oversight. And when you are developing, you need to keep in mind it is going to impact the real people in the real world. So the AI development process also should keep that in mind. Some of that, Sabyasachi, highlighted, to avoid biases, to ensure there is no discrimination. Third, it says, innovation over constraint. So whenever you are developing AI model, make it more inclusive rather than making it restrictive. And it should be used as an innovative, technology, which should help specifically say in various, lending activities they do from onboarding to say until the closure of loan. Then it talks about accountability, and it expect, or the regulator expect, the companies who are implementing AI model, they have to own it. They will be accountable and responsible for the decision made by the AI. So you simply can't say it's a system decision or system made. So we don't know who owns it. So you have to decide in the company which department, which person owns, the data, the decision coming out of that. Then it talks about fairness and equity. So the decision or the outcome of AI has to be fair in the sense, it should not affect negatively, and whatever you are expecting out of that, you should have some oversight, testing, auditing to ensure that the outcomes are fair and equal. Then two more things it talks about. One, it says it should be understandable by design itself. So when you are building AI model, anybody externally looking at that, be it regulator or auditor, they should be able to understand it simply by design. As it shouldn't be a black box, it should be kind of a glass box where how and why the decision has been made. And I think the last guiding principle or expectation it talks about around the safety, the resilience and the sustainability, right? So you will be putting a lot of personal data into the AI model. The security of the system, the AI model, and sustainability in terms of it talks about, even how much energy it is consuming. So those, 7 guiding principle clearly tells us the expectation of the regulator. And I think that should be a good starting point to work on.
No, I think it's great. The 7 principles are seemingly very simple to read, but when you actually go and start implementing it, I think it becomes a very difficult proposition, because this is also a new thing which is evolving over a period of time. So, even the regulator will have questions, and we may have questions for which we may not be able to find answers, because that's how technologies will evolve over a period of time. Coming to the next question, and I'll pick thoughts from Neeraj on this, because Neeraj runs a large organization which is focused on very small ticket size loans. So nowadays the whole concept of embedding AI into the lending life cycle completely. Now, whether it is from an automation perspective or whether it is from underwriting perspective, how do you see? And in iFinance, are you guys working on something of this sort?
So good afternoon, everybody. Yes, in iFinance, we use a lot of AI tools, or you can say how we can embed the AI journey from beginning till end of the, you can say, customer life cycle. So beginning for us, since it is a small ticket unsecured loan, so I must say there is no AI to the begin with. Means lead generation is not through AI. However, if you want, or you can say somebody wants, leads can also be generated through AI and can be personalized leads. So if somebody wants to buy something, he can you can say regularly checks on either mobile or maybe laptop. So you will get personalized information sort of thing. That is AI. So AI is working in background, and now you will see what you want going forward. So that is the model. Here in since we are in unsecured small ticket loan and our customers are basically not even thin file, it is no file customers. So their journey is, we are touching the customer first. So we have got touch points. We are touching the customer first, and from their journey is digital. So yes, till such time AI is not involved, but after that AI has got involved from OCR level till you can say customer experience, or you can say loyalty level till loyalty level. So our journey is, once we source the customers got on board, customers application get filled through all OCR mechanisms. So we are pulling data from various, you can say, IDs, and everything gets filled in the systems. No paper movement, only digital movement is started from the customer. So this is first movement. Then comes underwriting. In underwriting, we are using different models. We have got, like, we serve 75 industries segments. So in these 75 segments, we have different underwriting models. We call it cluster-based underwriting models. Those are also based on, you can say, AI tools. So whether some biasness or there is not, yes, of course, we are a majority, like not that urban sort of thing. So we are semi-urban, rural sort of a company in which we may have bias as well in the, you can say, system. But entire underwriting platform is dependent on extraction of data from various, you can say, social platforms, mobile data, then the data which we are getting through account aggregator, since these customers don't have balance sheet and P&L. So underwriting, on that basis, we do the underwriting of this customer. We create the, you can say, profile of the customer, persona of the customers. On that basis, we decide whether we want to give loan or not, and then to what amount. After that, onboarding again AI driven, so that experience is there, everything like digital. From there, next comes customer service aspects. So service aspects is again personalized. Basis your, you can say, past behavior with the company, with bureau data, with banking, bouncing culture, the customer's persona again get created for pre-EMI calling, or if bounce, then post-EMI bouncing. Even you can say there are chat bots, voice bots we have installed in some of the locations and at HO, where customer can call us and he can get his tailor-made reply for his query. So those sort of, it is in, you can say, initial stage, but we are progressing in that direction. And last but not the least, it comes to the conclusion. So closure of the loan. Closure is still, you can say, not the AI driven. However, we are walking that path in which customer can call to a chatbot and he can get his final statement with what will be my closure amount. So that journey is there. Besides that, there is one more aspect. Customer wants to have, you can say, repeat loan or top up loan, or you can say some cross sell. That avenues are also there through AI models. So since you have got the customer life cycle with you, you have bureau data, you have account aggregator, all these bases you can decide when to pitch a new loan to the customers, what sort of cross sell you can use to this customer, and everything can be personalized. So we are, as of now, is mixed, not fully, but we are using a certain extent in, you can say, decision making while giving loan to the customers and at the same time collection. Reason being, we are dealing with close to 500,000 customers for collection, some giving payment through ACH, NACH, while some gets bounce. On bounce customer, we use various AI models, and then we decide to whom we should just churn in the, you can say, call center for digital calling, to whom we will send to the ground for, you can say, a hard collection sort of thing, and to whom we will have a mixer approach. So all these decisions are taken basis the AI models. Currently we are using majority only in two space, one in collection and second one in the decision making. Thank you very much.
That's quite nice in terms of inputs coming from somebody who has been, because you also need a lot of data to actually run the AI models. You can't run actually AI models on a 5,000, 6,000 kind of a database, because then the answers will always be very convoluted. I'll jump to CJ, if I may call you that way, because that's what's there. CJ, I want to ask you a basic question regarding the biasness in the AI model. I want to ask you a practical question. Have you come across this kind of a anomaly? And if you have done it, then how did you kind of change it? That's part number one. And part number two, who in the company typically should be responsible for looking at biasness? Everybody talks about it, but for the benefit of the audience, is there one particular entity, department who should be looking at it and curing it?
No, I think those are very pertinent questions, Jatinder. I think we definitely face biases in the AI model. And at the end of the day, think of it, AI model is nothing but it's a bias in the human input that goes into the AI model. So if your data points, or if your training data has biases, AI will simply just amplify it and is going to be doing it 100x more in terms of its performance. I think it is very important to solution this bias and the ways in which typically we do, because we being an 100% digital entity, having served more than 9 million customers, the way we do it is we look at the data historically. The customers that we have, our AI models have rejected in the past, look at their performance in the other organizations or other lenders who have given them loans, and identify where the model is biased, correct that biasness, modify, and fine-tune the model so that in the future we are not, the bias is not continuing, and the exclusion is kind of minimalized. At the end of the day, it is a collective companies, organization or institutions' responsibility to correct these biases. Because for me, this exclusion is not just unfair, but it is also bad business. At the end of the day, think of it. If I am getting a customer on my platform, and if the customer is a good customer, I do not want to reject that customer as a lender. So I need to, collectively, the organization has to collectively work and figure out a way in which they can reduce biasness in the, in your models, in your AI ML models, and accept as many good customers as it can accept. So I think it should be a collective organization responsibility, primarily, flowing from data science and analytics and underwriting function.
Because I think I've been talking to, because I come from Bangalore, I shuttle between Bangalore and Bombay, and there are a lot of fintechs in Bangalore. So this question, I think, is still a little debatable right now, that who's responsible for looking at the biasness. I think it's evolving, but that's a very important question, and because you guys have got a lot of data.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like a very important decision, because if you make a wrong decision basis the bias, probably 30%, 40% of your customer inputs can actually get rogered out, whereas they would have been given a loan, practically. Okay. So, I want to go back to Deepak. And Deepak, there is also a framework in which it says that AI should be responsible AI in the lending framework. If you can put some thoughts on what do you mean, what is the meant, when we say responsible AI, that will be nice.
See, AI is as good as or as bad as the data on which it is being trained and the people behind it, right? So essentially, making AI responsible is like, to a child when you make him learn the manners, the etiquette, how he should be responsible. So you feed in, there is a data loop feedback is there. You keep teaching it, with new information. The same way, if you look at how to make the AI responsible, and couple of things, one is around the data governance, but because that's the starting point. The data on which it is being trained has to be, very diverse, has to be representative of the population it is going to affect, and the data has to be kind of, tested multiple times before it is put into use. Post that, again, this report also refers, then there is, EU has issued AI guidelines. If you read through those, so few things which can be done is like this. RBI regulation says the responsibility has to start from top. So the company has to have a board approved policy. It clearly talks about, which will clearly define, where AI can be used, who will be responsible for data, who will be responsible for running the AI model, who will be responsible for, post decision monitoring. So it talks about, to make AI responsible, you need to ensure there is, no bias. It has to be fair and, promote equity. There has to be, human oversight to all the critical decisions. Periodic audit should be done of the model and the outcome out of the model. And again, there should be a feedback loop by which we should be able to detect these biases or error and correct it quickly. So this entire, data governance, the governance at company level has to be put in place to make AI responsible. And at the end of the day, the company has to own, the decision out of this.
Great. I'll go to Sabyasachi, sir. And, my question to you, sir, is that, Purple now is about 3 years old, if I'm not wrong, correct? Okay, so 3 years old, and you focus on MSME segment, and your ticket sizes, if I may not be wrong, is about 6-7 lakhs. Okay. Now, your ticket size segmentation is very different than what Neeraj or what probably Deepak and CJ are working on. So do you actually find, or do you have a use case whereby AI is getting embedded in your life cycle, lending life cycle? Is there? Or are we too early right now? Because apart from little bit of underwriting where you can use some AI models, are you using anything else apart from the same?
Yeah, Jatinder, thanks. I think Neeraj spoke about most of the things. We are quite early in our evolution, but we have started using it. So let me actually divide the AI customer embedded journey into something like 4 parts. So one is underwriting, one is customer service, your third is definitely the collection, and the fourth is basically your what you call their behavioral risk and all that. We are actually using AI in most of the things, but small. It is not that because like you correctly said, that we are very early, so we have around 3,000 customer data set. So not possible to have a trained model or AI model. Just one example I wanted to give, and because you asked for a case. So, one of the problem what we faced, because we are into absolutely tier 3, tier 4 cities. So our credit managers are the local guys. They speak in vernacular language. So we do a PD because we are into secured lending and assessed model. Unlike Chirag, they have a straight-through process, but we do PD for all our customers. So the customers, they go, the credit manager go and do a PD in a vernacular language. And when they do a PD, they come back, and because many of the proposals are approved at a head office or maybe at a little higher level, we need a proposal in an English form, right? So many of the times, the delay in our proposal making is that they are not very comfortable in writing a proposal in English. And they have been pulled up by many of the seniors that you are not writing the right English. So we are using AI very much there. So we are in the process of building it. I think in next 3 months we'll be live. So whatever the PD they are doing, it is getting recorded on a mobile. It will also capture the geo coordinate. It will also capture the photographs. It will also capture the photograph of the property, the collateral, the PD, his business, his stocking and everything. And then automatically it will do a scoring. So you have a scorecard. It will do a scoring and it will give a English proposal. So this is nothing but AI, right? It uses various components of AI. So one component it uses is basically the credit bureau. So what is the minimum score? So beyond the minimum score, then the proposal gets below the score, it gets rejected. Beyond it goes through. So we have something called a go no go concept, where we have put our own business rule engine into the AI model. So based on the business rule engine, the customers get into a go or no go segment, and based on that, the customer move forward, right? So that's what we are using one in the what I call the underwriting. The other thing what we very extensively use, I think AI is come into that, and I think most of the companies also use it, is called bank statement analysis, right? Which is very critical in AI now, and now you have account aggregators in place. So with an account aggregator, you can pull almost everything from the customer. You can pull his investment, his share market details, his banks. If one mobile number is linked to 4 or 5 banks, then you can pull it. So it automatically comes into our bank statement analyzer. Then the bank statement analyzer analyzes the customer behavior. So there again, some amount of AI is used, where you see what is his credit, what is his debit, how many check bounces, which are the top 10 customers he's paying, which are the top 10 customers he's getting money from, whether there are intra-group transactions. One small thing I'll tell you. We actually found out that many of our customers, when they were doing this online gaming, till the time the government of India stopped it, we actually found that 20% of our customers were involved in online gaming. And they are doing only 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees kind of online gaming. And we do a correlationship between those type of customers, if you have funded them, with our default rate. And you find that there is a correlationship. So those people who are engaged in that, the delinquency was 30% higher, right? So that is where the AI comes in. It does a bank statement analysis and gives you a data that, yes, these are the customers where you have to be careful about whether you want to fund them. So you do a change in your model. The third thing which you are doing, which I think Neeraj spoke about, is collection, AI in collection analytics, what you call the sentimental analysis. So you use a call center. So we do many omni-channel to the customer. So we send across IVR blast to them. We send across WhatsApp to them. We send across SMS to them, apart from the physical calling. So based on that, we do a sentiment analysis to know that what is the customer's behavior or what is the customer feedback to you. So how many times the customer are not picking up your mobile, or how many times they are cutting your mobile, or how many times they are rude. So these are the sentiment of behavior analysis we do. And based on that, our collection strategy is made. Like Neeraj said very correctly, based on that, we decide that whether you need to increase the frequency of IVR blast, or whether you need to send across a physical collection guide to do a collection, or whether you need to increase the frequency of WhatsApp. So the channels are what you use for collection is used based on the AI and the sentimental analysis. So these are some of the things we are using, but lot more to be used.
No, I agree. I completely agree. And it's evolving, and it'll keep on evolving. because the power of AI is more and more as and when you keep on evolving along with the model, I think the answers are very different. Couple of, I'll take one or two last questions, and this is to Neeraj. Neeraj, in terms of generating generative AI, you spoke about customer services. Can you throw some light on maybe use of generative AI in KYC / documentation verification? Are you guys doing it? Because you have a large number of customers from that perspective.
Yeah. So use of generative AI for customer service or KYC or processes is very, very important. For me, I am using, you can say, tip of the iceberg as of now. Generative AI can give you a very, very, you can say, personalized sort of experience when it comes to customer experience. Personalized means like you are in telecom, you want to call somebody through IVR or maybe voice bot or maybe you can say chat bot. You can get very personalized response. Today, days are gone when you need an agent. Everything is taken care by the generative AI. So questions, modulation, even the way we speak. Right now, if I go one, you can say Hindi channel, Aaj Tak, Anjana Om Kashyap. One is AI and another one is without AI. You will not find any difference. Same. Similarly, when you call a voice bot or you can say chat bot, your answer will be as good as what you expect from a human being, agent. So those sort of label industry has reached, and that is, I think, as of now, at least for company like telecom industries, insurance companies, and some of the NBFCs also using this. As far as KYC goes, it is a use application in KYC. KYC means data. So data means data extraction. So you have PAN number. Just by putting, scanning, you can get every information from PAN card, Aadhaar card, or you can say just QR code. What is this? This is just AI models through which you are getting your OCR filled or OCR done, and you are filling your information. So it is a quick, very efficient, time saving, everything you are getting. Similarly, like process. So Sabyasachi just mentioned that underwriting. Underwriting is what? Is a culmination of various things. One, you are fetching some information, banking information, balance sheet information. In my case, I don't have balance sheet information. I have social demographic information. So I have information like customer represent on some, you can say, social sites, those information I have. All these I aggregate and then I create a score for that customer. One, that is score. Second one is we have certain fintech types. They do mobile data analysis and then throw one score. Second one is that. Third one is bureau information. All put together, we decide whether we should give loan to this customer or not. This is all, everything means from, you can say, customer service to KYC fetching or processing of KYC. Then last come processes through the BRE rule engines. Everything is possible through generative AI. I think it is now part of our day-to-day activity. And going forward, use cases that is going to increase, is not going to reduce. Only thing we need to take care certain aspects like data privacy, breach in data. All these things we have to take care of. Rest, going forward, since we are dealing with so much data, unless you have all these tools, you will not be efficient and you will not be that accurate as well. So I feel we are using to the extent possible, but going forward, things are going to improve only. Thank you.
मेरे को तो आपकी बात सुन के ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे कि ना इन couple of years यहाँ पर AI के बॉट्स बैठे होंगे, एक जितेंद्र का होगा, सब्यसाची का होगा, और सामने भी जो लोग बैठे होंगे वो भी बॉट्स ही होंगे.
आज से 2 साल पहले तो ये बात नहीं होती थी.
Correct, exactly.
Every second conference is AI.
And you know things are improving. So CJ, I'll ask you a little different question. It's on generative AI only. But how do you see in terms of jobs? How do you see? And I'm asking a little controversial question, but how do you see in terms of jobs? Because AI typically has overtaken. If you look at the fintech companies, there now no customer service person is there. It's only hardly 1 or 2 people are there, and they keep on training the generative AI model to make it much more smarter and smarter. So that's what I understand from my friends in the fintech world. Second is, you come to operations piece. तो मतलब हमारे पुराने ज़माने के मतलब सभी सर यहीं बैठे हैं, नीरज भी यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, तो हमारे ये दीपक भी बैठे हैं, तो एक पूरी आर्मी होती थी. एंड रमन इज देयर, माय ओल्ड फ्रेंड, आई जस्ट मेट हिम. तो एक फुल आर्मी ऑफ पीपल यूज्ड टू बी देयर फॉर ऑपरेशंस. नाउ एज ही वाज मेंशनिंग दैट पैन कार्ड, आधार कार्ड, एनी विच वेज थैंक्स टू इंडिया स्टैक, यू डोंट नीड नाउ अब वो वेरिफिकेशन के लिए लोग पहले वो देखते अरे नहीं ये सिग्नेचर तो मिल नहीं रहा, अरे नाम में तो डिफरेंस है. सो लॉट ऑफ दोज थिंग्स हैव आल्सो कम इनटू control. Because government has taken a lot of initiatives in terms of, democratizing the data availability to you. So how do you see jobs ka kya hoga?
Sure. No, I think that's a very fair question. The entry-level jobs, or the customer service representatives, or the collection agents that we have, there is a question. So, and for us, unlike using AI in a very superficial manner, we have, for us, it's not an add-on. It is more like a motherboard of our operating system. So it's embedded into every process, every system, every step that we do as far as the lending journey of the customer is concerned. I think more than the core jobs, it is not going to impact it that much, because see, today we have about 5,000 people on field who are doing collections for us. That cannot be replaced by AI at any given point in time. The only thing that can happen, the way it will function, is it will improve the efficiency of these people. Basically, we are now giving them a route they have to follow, when they're going for collections in the morning. They know, right, whether they have to go to a customer A first, customer B second. So that's the route mapping that we are giving them through the use of AI, through, geo-tagging of their locations. So I think it is just going to improve the efficiency to a different level. There would be certain jobs that may get impacted, but I feel they will have better things to do. For example, one may say that there is no need for compliance and audit of calls that are happening. I think that need is going to continue to be there. The only thing that is changing, and the way we are using it right now, is there is a sentiment analysis that goes into the telecalling setup. So the system, that there are modern tools who are able to tell us which are the calls you are, rather than picking up random samples of which calls to be audited, the system picks up the relevant calls where there is some level of heightened activity, some, either the customer is raising the voice, or there are some keywords that are getting used, or there's some sentiment of negativity in the conversation. Those are the calls that, the auditors or the compliance folks are picking up and listening to, and trying to identify where things went wrong and how to improve the process. So I think more than jobs getting impacted, at least the way I look forward to it is just going to improve the efficiency of all the functions that we are having in various steps of the customer journey, and it is just going to take the customer experience to a different level.
Awesome.
And Jatinder, if I may just add.
I'm coming to you. So I want the same question. If in 1 minute or 2 minutes, if you can also answer Deepak, Neeraj and Sabyasachi, I think it will be nice. This is a real situation right now.
So quick one, in my view, some jobs will be replaced, some will be augmented, and some new jobs will get created, right? When the tractor was introduced to the farming, similar kind of thing happened, right? A driver job got created, a lot of work related to tractor got created, but a lot of jobs were replaced also. I think similar to that, what we see will happen.
So I will just add what just Deepak mentioned. In 1984, when computer Kranti was coming to the country, कि रेलवे में नौकरी चली जाएंगी, अब वो विंडो पे वो जो फॉर्म भरते वो सब कौन करेगा. बट टुडे यू सी मतलब जो कि नौकरी भी हैं, एफिशिएंसी बढ़िया, एंड टुडे वी आस्क कि और एफिशिएंट होना चाहिए. टुडे वी फील और IRCTC भी आ गया, फिर भी वो काउंटर खत्म नहीं हुआ. So I feel jobs will remain, only the level of our intelligence or smart way of working will come into picture, rather than job will go away. Yes, for the guys, those will not enhance their knowledge, probably may be a problem. Otherwise, job will remain, work will remain, and there will be enough work for everybody in the country. That is my take.
I just want to add one on a lighter note, because we are all our friends here. The example that you gave right now is a 35, 40-year-old example. Okay, and 50% of folks here उनको समझ ही नहीं आया होगा कि खिड़की में जाके वो कौन सी बात कर रहा हो. So, but that's a nice one. You took me back to the time when अगर आप 8 बजे खिड़की पे नहीं पहुंचे तो आपको तत्काल की टिकट नहीं मिलेगी. I remember. Yes, Sabyasachi, over to you.
I agree with all my co-panelists. Jobs will get redefined. So new jobs will come in, some new jobs will get oriented. So just giving you example, when e-commerce companies came in, all of us thought that e-commerce coming in, there will be so much of change. We don't have to go to Kirana shop and all that. But the Kirana shop still exists in this country. And let me tell you, we do fund around 100 Kirana shop every month. Yeah, so we don't fund e-commerce guys. Similarly, e-commerce coming in, there is a new category. You see delivery boys. Lot of graduates getting into the gig worker and they're getting into delivery boys. So it's of course very volatile. It is little dynamic in nature. You don't know what kind of jobs will come in, what kind of jobs will get eliminated. But I'm very sure that everything will bring in a process improvement and a process efficiency. So if there are 3 people doing the same job, now there'll be maybe one person just monitoring. Like for us, we have something called a data warehouse. So earlier I remember, in fact, Jatinder, again going back to 30 years back, we used to get booklets, right? We used to get ledgers. So now everything is on my mobile. On a click of the button, I can see what's happening in our organization. So there are some key parameters. And for that, somebody making, so if somebody had to, there used to 15 to 20 MIS guys in the company to giving you MIS, churning out MIS. Now one person with the help of a business intelligence, BI, is able to give me so many MIS. So jobs will get redefined, but new jobs will come in, and I think Neeraj very correctly said that all of us, including the youngsters, have to upgrade their skills and upgrade their knowledge to be relevant in the society.
So I think one thing is very clear, that the youngsters need to worry about AI and the AI related aspects. हम तो अब एक लेवल पे आ गए हैं, तो अभी हमें सिर्फ डायरेक्शन देनी है, बाकी यंगस्टर्स को फॉलो करना है, बट ऑन अ लाइटर नोट. बट आई थिंक AI, the way it is evolving across the world, and I was zapped actually when I saw this robot Commonwealth type of a games in which there are 2-3 robots and they're fighting against each other, and it's a boxing match which is going on. It's happened in China, Zonghao. So the level of intelligence which is going across is multiple folds. So sometimes it worries me also, because there are positive sides to it, and there are also very, very negative sides to, it actually depends on how you train the model. If you train the model, from a perspective of drones, and, so there was an example whereby, the drone can come here and actually hit the bullet here and nobody will ever come to know. So I think if those facets are there, and from a lending perspective, if somebody thinks little wrong, a lot of wrong things can also happen. I wish it never happens. And last closing remarks from your side?
Yeah, I just have one comment to make. I think using AI responsibly in lending is like using your seatbelt when nobody's watching. I mean, you would not realize it when things are going good, but when things go south, it will really help you if you are using it responsibly.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was, I think, nice chatting up with you. And as Deepak wanted to finish it by 3:15, we are at 3:21. We are Indians, so thoda bahut to aage piche chalta hai. Thank you. So nice of you. Thank you very much. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Jatinder.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Jatinder sir, for this interesting and interactive panel discussion. Can we please have a huge round of applause for all of them, all the panelists and our moderator? And as we could understand from this panel, it's quite easy to know that AI is useful, but at the same time, it's critical. But when we train the AI model, all we should concentrate on the guidelines. It should be understandable, easy to operate, and also safe and secure, right? But to conclude, from all the points that they have discussed, we can only say is AI must be an obedient servant rather than a dangerous master, right? So thank you so much. One more time, let's clap for them. Now I would like to request Jatinder sir to please felicitate all our panelists one by one. And first I would like to invite Sabia Sachi sir, co-founder and CEO, Purple Finance Limited. Next, I would like to call forward Mr. Neeraj Kaushik, Deputy CEO, Air Finance Private Limited. Moving on to the next panelist, we have Mr. Deepak Goswami, CFO, Neo Growth. And I will not say CJ, I will definitely say Mr. Chirag Jain, Head of Strategy, Kisht. Now, I would like to request Mr. Abhinav Chaudhary to please join me on stage, and let's felicitate our moderator, Mr. Jatinder Mohan Singh Shah, the CEO, Mantra Capital. Thank you. Let's give a huge round of applause for all of them one more time, and let's have a group picture.